Now, in KwaDukuza, north of Durban, hundreds of Zulu regiments, maidens and women converged to celebrate the annual Shaka's Day on Saturday. Now, the day is remembered each year to honor the king who, in 1816, united the local Nguni clans around KwaZulu-Natal and formed the Zulu nation. Prince Dingane and Mhlangana Zulu, King Shaka's brothers, murdered him on September 24th, 1828. Joining me now to discuss this further is cultural expert Professor Musa Xulu. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time, Professor. And a very important discussion to have as millions of South Africans celebrate Heritage Day today in KZN. 24th of September is known as Shaka Day. People will gather perhaps at King Shaka's grave to honor him. Let's talk a little bit about the history and how we got to this point.
Good morning, Paul Jobe. No, the history is as you say it, because when King Shaka became very big in terms of the kingdom and the wars that he was fighting, he made some enemies within the Zulu royal family. And so they killed him on this date, 24th of September, 1828. On the 24th of September, 1928, the first commemoration was done, and the monument of at King Shaka's grave at KwaDukuza was unveiled in 1954 on the 24th of September. So it has always been the 24th of September. Yesterday was a little bit unfortunate, very, very unfortunate, but it has always been the 24th of September, in line with the basic standards of maintaining heritage. You don't interfere with dates on which an event happened. In any way, having said that, the importance of King Shaka is that he united this very big kingdom, and then in the process, a lot of others left KwaZulu and went to Mozambique, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and even Tanzania. So you find a lot of Nguni people who ran away from Shaka, and they formed kingdoms there. So the influence of King Shaka is not only limited to KwaZulu-Natal, it also spreads around the SADC region. Yeah. So it's very big. Yesterday, which should have been today, usually what happens is you go to the grave, the monument first in the morning and talk to King Shaka and the ancestors in line with the traditional religious systems to explain what is happening. That can be done also a few days before. And when, for example, in 2018, there was a deviation and in celebration of the 200 years of the Zulu kingdom, what happened was that the king then, King Zwelithini, went to the grave of King Shaka, slaughtered some cows there, and apologized that there was this deviation from the historical date. So it's a very ritualized kind of date, this Shaka's Day. Throughout, it's been known as Shaka's Day, but as you know, in 1994, it became a compromise. After 1994, it became kind of a compromise situation where it was then encouraged that the entire of South Africa be involved in one way or the other, with everyone celebrating their cultural diversities wherever that can be.
Yeah, because we know initially the 24th of September was not included in the list of public holidays under the South African government. What role did the IFP play in, fast-tracking this and making sure that the public holiday is indeed recognized?
Well, you must remember that the late now, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, who was MC at the 1954 event, when he became Chief Minister of the KwaZulu homeland, he was in the forefront of ensuring that Amakosi, all Amakosi, 300 of them, are mobilized to commemorate this day on the 24th. Of course, there were differences leading up to 1994 between the ANC and the IFP, but well, Chief Mangosuthu Buthelezi, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi became Minister of Home Affairs, meaning that holidays were now to be with him. So he made a very big motivation to cabinet. And at that time, because there was a spirit of reconciliation, President Nelson Mandela and the cabinet then accepted, and from 1995, this day became fixed as a Heritage Day, which means, of course, that the Zulu people would continue celebrating Shaka's Day, but other people would look at their own versions of the heritage so that you strengthen the kingdoms, for example, our history, you strengthen our identity, our various identity, and the sense of cultural diversity becomes established as part of a central part of South Africa's national identity.
Yeah, we know that the question of national or cultural heritage, Professor, is not without its complications. As we try and make sense of the day, what would you believe to be some points of contention here, especially in a former settler colony such as South Africa, where one person's heritage may perhaps be another one's trauma?
No, definitely. I think you are correct, because you would find that maybe some other people would have attacked so and so, and for example, in the period leading to 1994, there was a lot of violence, and people blame this or that for that.
Yeah.
But the intention was to create a situation of reconciliation and peace in South Africa for development by acknowledging cultural diversity. That's why on the 16th of December, which used to be called Tengan's Day, is now called Day of Reconciliation, to ensure that the spirit of reconciliation goes on. It will take decades. It will take a long time before it is entrenched in our national psyche. But there's always a start. I think I know that, for example, the IFP has always been for Shaka's Day, and I think when they were in power, they actually drove it quite well and were able to mobilize, because you can't do it without Amakosi, you can't do it without Amabuto, you can't do it without the structures of the kingdom. And when Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi was alive, he knew exactly what needed to be done in terms of here. But also, as President Cyril Ramaphosa was saying, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi was also influencing other kingdoms throughout South Africa. One day, he and the president went to a cultural event, Heritage Day event at Venda, and they looked at that diversity. So you will have to look at it from a perspective of the cultural diversity that we come from different histories. Mm-hmm. And it's even worse, for example, there's Afrikaners who had their own problems with the English, Anglo-Boer War, for example, 1899 to 1902. You will have, but the good thing with Shaka, he never attacked non-Gunis. He was friends with Mushweshwe. He was friends with the kings in the Eastern Cape. He was friends with anyone. He just wanted to unite the Ngunis. So, and of course, it happened.
Yeah, it did happen indeed. Thank you so much for your time, cultural expert Professor Musa Xulu, weighing in there on the significance of 24 September, Shaka Day, Heritage Day.